welcome you to ShenCommUNITY. This weekly event was created so Shenandoah Conservatory could come together even when we're apart. Every Friday, we first share some music, then we stretch, and lastly, we reflect, together as a community. Please know that we would love to hear from you in the comments section throughout the show. First on our program are Professors Byron Jones and Romine. Enjoy!
We unaccustomed to courage, exiles from delight, live coiled in shells of loneliness until love leaves its high holy temple and comes into our sight to liberate us into life, to liberate us into life. Love arrives, and in its train come ecstasies, old memories of pleasure, ancient histories of pain. Yet if we are bold, love strikes away the chains of fears from our souls, from our souls. We are weaned from our timidity. In the flush of love's light, we dare be brave. And suddenly we see that love costs all we are and ever will be. Yet it is only love. It is only love. It is only love which sets us free. Thank you for joining us today. We're pleased to share some music that means a lot to us. I'm Byron Jones. I teach voice in the conservatory.
And I'm Romine. I teach bassoon. We just played Touched by an Angel, the first of 3 simple love songs I wrote in 2014 in celebration of the wedding of our dean, Michael Stepniak, and Professor Anne Shem. The next 2 songs of the set, which we'll be playing now, are I Would Live in Your Love with poetry by Sarah Teasdale and A Red, Red Rose with poetry by Robert Burns.
I would live in your love like the sea grasses live in the sea, borne up by each wave as it passes, drawn down by each wave that recedes. I would empty my soul of the dreams that have gathered in me. I would beat with your soul as it beats. I would follow your soul as it beats. Oh, my love's like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love's like a melody that's sweetly played in tune. I spirit down my body, that's so deep in love am I, and I will love thee still, my dear. Till all the seas gang dry, till all the seas gang dry, the deer and the rocks melt with the sun, and I will love thee still, my dear, while the sands our life shall run. Oh, my love's like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love's like a melody that's sweetly played in June. I swear I now my bonny lass, so deep in love am I, and I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas gang dry. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Remember to let us know what you think in the comments section. Next, I'd like to introduce Professor Matt Pardo, who will lead us in some movement exercises.
Hello, everyone, and beautiful playing and singing by Byron and Ryan. Thank you so much for those selections. They were really wonderful. As Byron said, my name is Matt Pardo, and I am an assistant professor of dance up in the dance department. And I teach a number of the technique classes, and what we're going to be working on today is on creating our own little chair dances, yes, aimed at keeping our muscles nice and long and making sure that we keep stretched, yeah, keep lengthened out. If you're like me, in the past couple of weeks, you've gone from very active lifestyles, running from studios or meetings or running from building to building, to all of a sudden being in a chair a lot. And so I figured today what might be a nice thing is to make sure that we're reimagining our chair into a place that can actually house movement, yes? So we'll be working on creating two little chair dances that strategically look at how to keep our backs and a little bit of our hips lengthened and ready to go and safe, yes? So you can go ahead and push yourself back on a chair if you have one. And also feel free to modify any of these movements, either to make them more advanced or to make them just a little easier, yes? Stretching is all about making sure that you're attending to the you, yes? So we'll reach forward for 4 counts, just bringing the heads to the knees. You reach the head up for 2 counts. You're gonna arch the back. You're gonna sit back on 3. You're gonna bend in the right leg on 4. You push your head all the way down, just lengthening through the back, and you're gonna reach towards the bent knee. If you would like to brace yourself on the chair with your right arm, you can do that as we reach the left arm over to the right side. You have 4 counts to come all the way up and over, nice long lengthened reach. You bring yourself down into the center, and then from here you're gonna bring your right arm to the back of the chair and bring your left arm to a nice spiral, and you'll use the focus to look up and around. Then you'll use the left hand to pull yourself all the way down, and you'll come down and you'll roll up. And then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. I'll talk you through it, yes? Here we go. So we have reaching forward for 4, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. Head reaches up, and a 2, and a reach, leg comes up. You go down, and 2, and 3, and 4. Left arm reaches to the right, and 7. 4 counts up and over, and 2, and 3, and 4. Spiral down, and 6. And 7, back of the chair, spiral up, use the focus, and 3, and 4, push the legs down, 6, here we go, left side, you go down, and a 2, and 3, and 4, reaching out and up, and a 2, replace left leg, and you go, nice and forward, and 3, and 4, brace yourself to the left, and 7, and 8, up and over, and 2, and 3, and 4, all the way down, and 6, easy shoulders, here we go, spiral out, and a 2, and 3, and 4, up and over, and 6, let's try the whole thing again, you go forward, lots of breath, and 3, and 4, reaching up, and 6, replace right leg, you go forward, and 2, and 3, and 4, reaching to the right with the left arm, and 7, and 8, up and over, and 2, and 3, and 4, head goes down, easy shoulders, and 7, spiral out, reaching long, use the eyes, and 3, and 4, replace, and 6, rolling up, here we go, last time you go, nice and forward, and 3, and 4, head reaches out, and a 6, replace left leg. You fold forward, and 2, and 3, and 4, reaching to the left with the right arm, and 7, keep it reaching up and over, and 2, and 3, and 4, spiral down, and 6, easy shoulder, 8, inhale up, and a 2, and 3, and 4, you spiral down, and a 6, and up, and finish. Beautiful work. Let's try one more chair dance, yes? You push yourself forward off of the chair. You have 4 counts. The back foot can either be on the walk, as we say in jazz, where the toes are just a little bit bent and keeping your foot on the ground, or if you're a dancer, you can go ahead and put the foot down, right? Your choice. So you come forward for 4. We'll reach the arm all the way up. You tip towards the back of the chair for 4. You bring yourself all the way down. You extend the arm and the chest back, open that chest wide. You pull yourself back. You're gonna sit on the chair. You're gonna clasp the arms together behind the chair as we open the chest out and just do a nice little curve. You have 6 counts here, and then we'll bring the arms around. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. 4 down, reach the arm up, tip towards the back. You fold forward, you open out, you collapse in, you reach back, hands clasp, you open out, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and the arms come in. Let's try it. Here we go. So we go, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and 4, arm reaches up, and a 2, and 3, tip over, and 2, and 3, and 4, spiral down, easy shoulder, and 7, and 8, reaching back, and a 2, and 3, and 4, nice open chest, and a 6, and coming 6 counts, you open the chest, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, here we go, other side, 1, and a 2, and 3, and 4, arm reaches up, nice and long, and 7, and 8, up and over, and 2, and 3, and 4, folding forward, and 6, and 7, big to the back, and 1, and a 2, and 3, and 4, and in, and 6, replace to the back, you go back, and a 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and rest. Well done, guys. So my hope is that you will take some time over the next couple of weeks and create your own chair dances. Yes, stretching should be all about finding what feels good for you and keeping the muscles lengthened by moving. Yes, I hope you all are safe and healthy and wonderful. And next we have a message from our awesome dean, Michael Stepniak.
Hello. I'm not sure if I'm excited or nervous about the prospect of creating our own chair dances. Wow. Thank you, Matt. It's a delight to be with you all. And thank you, each one of you, for taking time during your busy Friday to join us. Matt, thanks for that. I know that was too slow for our dance students, and it was at the edge of what the rest of us can do. Byron and Ryan, so wonderful to hear those pieces again and that vitality within that music. A big thank you to you, Rylie. Your work and the work of the student council leaders means so much to our conservatory. And finally, a big thanks to Liz, Elisa, and Jimmy for all that you're doing behind the scenes to make this program happen. I'll introduce our surprise guest speaker very soon, but first, just a quick thought. As many of you know, Shenandoah is finishing its 3rd week of online operation. We have a wonderfully creative and collaborative community, and many things are going well given the circumstances. But I also know that for a number within our community, this is not a time of creative accomplishment as much as it is a time of difficulty. And we each have things, personal things, that increasingly tug at us. At my end, I worry about members of my family, including my middle daughter, who's in healthcare in Manhattan, my mother, who's in a retirement village in Melbourne, Australia. I worry about the increasing number of you, conservatory faculty, staff, students, with loved ones who are now ill or who have recently lost a job. The simple truth is that the cruelty of our times is great. And here's what I know. Our ancestors, the hundreds and hundreds of generations who preceded us, passed on many wonderful things, wisdom, traditions, rituals that matter. But there's also something else we got from them. Hearts that can sustain unusual hope and courage, hope of the pig-headed and obstinate sort, and courage that's fueled by the most precious of things, our care for each other. And in moments of quiet, I feel that hope and courage in you, and I see that hope and courage in you. Things will get worse in the weeks ahead, and our hope and courage, our care for each other, will not be vanquished. I'm grateful for each of you, to our supporters, and especially to our members of our Dean Circle. I can't tell you how much your generosity and support means. Thank you. Okay, so you have to know that at the very end of the day yesterday, and after a few heroic hours of work by Liz and Elisa and Eileen, it became clear that technology was not going to let Eileen Hayes, who's in Wisconsin, be part of our live stream program today. And we look forward to having her with us on another Friday soon. But by midnight last night, big thanks to Martha Wallner too, a dear friend of the conservatory had said yes to joining us today. It's an honor to welcome back to our community the Pulitzer-winning playwright Stephen Adly Girgis. Stephen brings an extraordinarily tender affection for the downtrodden, and I can't help but think that aside from those found in Shakespeare, I know of no dramatic characters who are more extraordinary to observe than the rough-hewn, loudmouth people that Stephen brings to life. And as we saw when he was working with our theater students a few years ago, Stephen brings that same unflinching honesty and humanity to all his work. All right, Stephen, you're up next. Again, I can't thank you enough for joining our conservatory again. We all look forward to hearing your reflections.
Hey, hello, students and other folks at Shenandoah. I'm really happy to be here this morning, and I'm really moved. Ryan and Byron, and what a way to start, and Oboe and Matt. I'm gonna watch this again on FaceTime hopefully and just record, because that chair stuff is what I need, because I'm all messed up because I sit in a chair too much. It was beautiful. And D. Michael, I mean, I'm assuming that he's good in his duties, but what a speaker. You got me a little choked up. I don't think I'm going to be able to speak as eloquently as your dean, and certainly without that accent that adds gravitas. I'm just me, but I'm happy to be here. And I didn't prepare because it sort of came at the last minute, and I'm a night owl, but I thought of just a couple of things to say. And also I'm looking in here to be mindful of the time. The first thing I thought of was a quote from Stanislavski, where he said, which is about where he says, "Love the art in yourself, not yourself in the art," which is perfect for us for right now, because there is no yourself in the art, because there is no art really going on actively. You know, you're not in a play right now because we can't have plays. You're not a member of a concerto or something right now because there's no concerto. But there is the art that's inside of us, and it's a good time to appreciate it and nurture it. And when I think of this time, first of all, I think we're all struggling and we're all succeeding and failing in different areas. But when I think about this time, which is crazy and is scary, and the length of which is undetermined, I think of two things: that this is a time to prepare and a time to live. The main thing is, I think, probably the living, because, you know, it doesn't matter that there's a pandemic going on. We're in our life right now. So we have to live the life that we have right now. And that's important. But also, because of the social distancing and nature, it's also a time to where we can prepare. You know, if you're preparing to be an actor or a violinist or whatever, there is some extra time to prepare. And I'm thinking about that every day as I'm trying to negotiate living as well. For some reason, I wanted to say to you guys that, first of all, the school is amazing, and every professor I met is amazing. But, you know, we're all, like, none of us are perfect. When I was young, and even now, I'm 55, I'm still always looking for heroes. I'm still always looking for someone to put on a pedestal. I'm looking for someone to show me the way. And the fact is that no one's perfect, you know, and take your heroism where you can find it. Take your inspiration where you can find it. But really, at the end of the day, it's on us to be our own heroes, to be our own saviors, and then to extend that hand out to others. And that's something I've been trying to do. I also feel compelled to say that, you know, if you're someone struggling with addiction issues, you know, that all those 12-step meetings are online now. And, you know, if you go on AA.org or OA.org, wherever, you know, they have Zoom meetings, and they're lifesavers. Because, you know, if you tend to be depressed in general now, there's a lot more reason. You know, all the things that mess with us, this is like a party for them. You know, this is like, ooh, come on in, you know, let's really draw them in. So we have to be diligent, and we have to fight, and we have to fight back, and we have to take all the inspiration we can, but know that at the end of the day, no one is going to get you out of bed other than yourself. No one's going to get you to your instrument or to your monologue other than yourself. And I'm saying that because that's what I'm grappling with. You know, I wake up in the morning and be like, okay, I make a deal with myself. Stephen, get up, walk the dog right now. You know, and then if you want to go back to sleep, you can go back to sleep. And so I take the dog out, and I take him out for longer now. I want to make sure he get as much exercise as he can. So yeah, I don't feel like I have that much to say here. But the other thing is that it's about sort of making do with what we have, you know, which is always more than we think, you know, and you know, these times are troubled and unprecedented, and even old people are like, I've never seen anything like this, and we don't know how long it's going to go on. But also, you know, whenever there's hardship, you know, there's opportunity. And we all know, or many of us know, that, you know, the birth of hip hop, which is now the dominant form of popular music, you know, started in the South Bronx when it was literally burning. It was the poorest congressional district in the nation, and the situation and the living situation was misery. And out of that misery came hip hop. You know, we know that that blues and gospel, you know, came out of slavery. We also know that post World War II, a whole bunch of British kids who grew up amidst rubble, similar to the kids in the South Bronx in the 70s, you know, grew up, and that became British rock, and that became the Beatles and the Who and the Rolling Stones and all that music, which is probably like old folks music to you guys, but it's still there, and it was born out of hardship. So that's not to say let's root for hardship so we can become, you know, whatever, but it's there, it's undeniable, and Moliere said, I take my best where I can find it. So to close, I'm not going to play music. God knows. I'm an amateur musician, but I picked it up because I felt I needed a hobby, and I needed something to do with my time that wasn't self-destructive. So I started playing guitar. And as I started to have some success, I'm going to wrap up, I started to buy guitars and buy more expensive guitars. I have guitars in my in the next room, and the amount of guitars and the worth of guitars is not at all reflective of my abilities. But I have them, and I like them, and I use them. you know how if you have a musician, a string instrument, you know that you have to take extra care of it in the winter because of humidity, not the lack of humidity and the steam that comes out of the radiators. And I didn't do such a good job this year. And so I was taking out my instruments and they all need work. And for some reason I took this one, which is just it's a inexpensive Baby Taylor guitar. Maybe some of you guys have it, but because I didn't take care of it or even have it in a case, the action is so high and it goes out of tune really fast. And I was like, oh, I can't play. This sounds horrible. I can't play this. But this is what I found, and this is what I'll leave you with. And I'm not gonna play it because I'm not. What I found was because the guitar is so fucked up, I have to work harder to make the chords, make the sounds that I want to make. And what I quickly found is that it in working harder, it forced me to be more accurate and more precise and to listen more. When I play the Gibson J200, that's real expensive, you just, ooh, this sounds angelic, and I just barely touched it. This one I have to work a lot harder, and it's been my little gift. And there's another guitar I have that's nice that isn't messed up, but I've been sticking with this because it's making me work harder and it's making me be more precise, and I'm getting better. And I also constantly remind myself that if you are a real serious musician, then you're like, yes, this guitar is better than this guitar. But I've never, ever met someone who can play whatever the instrument is. No one who can play can't pick up any instrument and make it sound good. And so when I say, oh, but this isn't so good, I say, no, make it good. And I've been able to make it good on occasion, make good sounds, and it makes me feel really good. If you go on my Facebook page, my friend Seth Rosenfeld wrote something about surviving this crisis, and it's brilliant. So it's Stephen Adly Guirgis or Cookie Cunningham on Facebook. You should read it. It's really great. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, I'm freecookiegirgis@yahoo.com, FREE, cookie, COOKIE, and then my last name. I'm bad at reading stuff, but if you just, anything you want to reach out, you can. And you guys are the future. So take care of yourselves first. Get the oxygen mask on you first, and then help anyone that you can. And this is hard, and it's going to get harder, but there's always opportunity, and there's always the present. This is what you have today, and what are we going to make of it? Thank you so much, and that's a wrap.